What's up everyone, it's Matt Wacek here, CEO and founder of Landscape Marketing Pros, and I'd like to welcome you to our YouTube channel. So today we're going to be getting into a couple different techniques that you can utilize with both your website and even your sales conversations that you have when you go to a prospect's property to meet with them to sell your services. And so these are a couple different mechanisms that we've been able to utilize and help our clients get a whole lot more leads coming to the website, and then of course the sales strategies which just work for really selling anything to anybody, but I'm going to show you some examples of how you can actually do this with selling your specific services. So without further ado, let's begin. Now guys, briefly before we begin the presentation, I want to direct your attention to the description right beneath this video as well as in the pinned comment. There is a link in each of those locations, and what I encourage you to do is to check out that link at the completion of this video, because we're opening up enrollment into our landscape and outdoor living client attraction system. So when you click that link, it's going to take you to this page right here. And what I would encourage you to do is watch this video from end to end. You're going to see exactly how where landscape contractors have been able to generate anywhere between 25 to 30 on the low end, upwards of 60, 80, and 100 or more leads in a month, profitably fill their crew schedules without having to buy shared leads or spend a fortune. Right below that video, you have the opportunity to select a date and a time and just answer a couple questions about your business. And we can sit down and have a conversation to see if your company is going to be a good fit to work within our system. So again, that's the first link in the description. So I highly encourage you to go down below, click that link, and book that time slot before your local competitors swoop in, because we offer service area exclusivity to all of our clients and we do not work with your local competitors. So again, first link in the description as well as the pinned comment. Okay, so how can we get more leads coming in, and then how can we close more and more of them at a higher ticket? So it comes down to a couple different sales methodology that you probably have never even heard of. Frankly, most people are really never talking about this, but the first concept that you have to be aware of is that they are buying the hole, not the drill. So what do I mean by that? So if somebody's buying a drill to build a birdhouse or build a deck or something, they want a deck or they want a birdhouse. Most do not care as long as the end result is what it is that they want. A birdhouse, a deck, whatever it is they're building out of wood. And so how does this translate to your landscape or outdoor living lawn care company? That's going to be by painting a picture in their mind of what the end result is of your services. And so I've laid out a few examples here, beginning with maintenance and snow, and then we'll get into landscape design and building, because that's where this really comes into play, and it can be very powerful by using a couple of psychology tricks. So with maintenance, it's very simple and basic. Time saved. They don't have to work all day in the heat and humidity taking care of the yard. And really, it's just the time savings thing. That's going to be one of the biggest things, because if someone has kids and priorities and all this sort of stuff, take kids to school or sports, whatever it is, activities, that sort of stuff is going to be more meaningful of them than taking care of the lawn. And if someone has a job or a business that pays them more than it costs to actually hire a lawn service to take care of the lawn, when they look at how much time would go into working in the lawn versus just paying a company like yours to take care of it, those are options that you can weigh out, and so I'd encourage using that language on your website. And usually with the sales cycle of lawn maintenance, it's very short compared to like design build, where we're talking $50,000, $100,000, people making a big decision. And so just that language alone is usually what's going to close them pretty well. So when it comes to the snow side of things, with residential, the biggest thing is time savings. People do not want to wake up 2 hours before work to snow blow or shovel. They don't want to come home after sitting in traffic for twice as long as they would on a normal day or more to then have to shovel and snow blow. Nobody wants to do that. And then on the commercial side of things with snow, what you can do is explain to them that, hey, we work efficiently, we schedule based on the timeline of the snow event, and you're going to be able to get your property cleared sooner, so that way it's safe and accessible for your customers, your employees, or whoever's got to come into the building. So just a couple examples there. And then where we've really seen this work extremely well, which, don't get me wrong, with maintenance and snow, it works just fine, but those are shorter sales cycles. When we're talking design build, 10, 20, 50, $100,000 projects, it's a long sales cycle. And so when you can use this terminology in both your website with your marketing and during your sales conversations of painting the picture of what their backyard is going to look like, and allow them to be able to do when it's all said and done, whether that's have their space for their kids to play that's safe at home, it's fenced in and all that. Maybe it's a patio and a fire pit and seating wall for them to hang out with their spouse after work or something like that. Or a big outdoor kitchen where they can host gatherings and cook up food for their neighbors and everything like that. And so really just painting the picture in their mind of the end result of your service is going to absolutely work wonders for you. It's going to set you miles ahead of your competition. So that's the very first part, to at least get more leads coming in through your website, is just painting the picture and essentially selling them the hole, not the drill. Okay, so the next thing is going to be a concept that many of you have never heard of. And when I say it, or even when you see it here on the screen, you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? And so that's going to be using social status to evoke an emotional reaction. It's something that's pretty advanced, but you can utilize this if you're pretty good with sales. You have sales conversations under your belt and you have some experience with this. You can really use this to make a whole lot more money in your business. But essentially, social status is how a person is perceived by the outside world, usually within their community. So their group of friends, their neighbors, their workplace, their industry, their church, whatever it is, a group of people. And so this is important because everybody wants to be looked up to. Everybody wants to have that feeling of having things that maybe somebody else also wants, because it's a highly desired object. And an example with this is a $100,000 backyard. And so people just want to be looked up to, admired, and that sort of stuff, because frankly, it just feels good to have that sort of stuff. Or you'll notice this when people buy new things that they've maybe wanted for many, many years. They post about it on social media. They get all kinds of attention coming in, and people just enjoy it. And so that kind of ties into social status as well. And so one great example of this with design build is, let's say you have a homeowner who spends 50 grand on an outdoor living area, another 50 grand on a pool and pavers all around it. Every single neighbor is going to see that work being done, see the finished product, and they're going to realize, man, I want that. That's going to be a sweet spot to have parties. We need to have that in our backyard too. And so one of the easiest ways to implement this is simply saying, hey, let's make your backyard the envy of the neighborhood. Simple as that. So I threw in a couple bonuses here of kind of how you can utilize some of the other psychological things that people do things based on. And so that's going to be health, wealth, and relationships. And so we're going to start off with relationships. And so this is going to be something you can mention on your website, with having a cozy spot to relax with your spouse over a bottle of wine. So this would be like a paver patio, maybe with privacy hedges, and they can relax over a bottle of wine, sitting around a fire, whatever the case may be, is one great example there. Another one is kind of related to their kids, with being able to have a large expansive yard where they can play soccer or football or whatever and not have to worry about anything else. It's fenced in, they're all good. Kind of the safety aspect of it, that's another thing that kind of hits an emotional trigger. So another one, and this is where really social status comes in as well, they're able to host parties with the neighbors, friends, family, coworkers, whoever it is that they know. And people are going to come and walk into their backyard. They have the 100 grand put into it with the pool and everything else. And everyone's going to say, oh my God, this place looks amazing. Who built this? And then husband or wife will say this to vice versa. Hey, we need to get this in our backyard. Let's do this because this looks amazing. But when you mention these things in your sales conversations, or even in the language on the website where, hey, you can host a party, all the neighbors gather around, they're going to be impressed with everything that you've done. Family's going to be impressed, coworkers, where all the people that you know can come over, they're all going to be impressed. They're going to love your backyard, all these sorts of things. And it sounds so goofy, but it works. That's just how people are wired. If you poke and prod your prospects enough with this social status, health, wealth, and relationships, and other types of psychology aspects, if they do not have the cash to purchase your services, they will go into debt using a credit card or some type of loan, whether that's borrowing against their house or a personal loan or whatever it is, in order to get that backyard that they want. If it's desired enough, and you essentially lower the pain point of them buying it by, hey, just get a loan, it's easy, $300 a month, just pay for it for the next 15 years or whatever it is that they're doing with that. And then boom, you closed a $50,000 or $100,000 sale, or whatever the case may be with the project. And you might be thinking this is some crazy concept that I just made up. Absolutely not. This is used in marketing across every industry, all over the world. Everything that sells, this is what's used. People will go into debt to take a vacation just so they can be able to post cool pictures on Instagram and look cool to their friends. Same thing with purchasing vehicles they have no business buying if they can't afford it. Houses, or bottle service at a club, or blowing a bunch of money on Louis Vuitton, Gucci, that sort of stuff. Not because they're into the fashion items, but they just want to look cool to other people. So what you want to do is essentially utilize human psychology to your advantage in order to close more sales. And it's not like you're selling them something that's complete junk. They're getting an amazing backyard. They love it, but this is just how people buy. I didn't make how people behave. I just see how they do, and I play the game accordingly, and you should too. So by now at this point, you're in one of two categories. Either you are doing $200,000 per year or more, and I would encourage you to go down below, hit that first link in the description, as well as the pinned comment down beneath this video. Check out the video presentation that we put together for you. Book a qualification interview to see if it's going to be a good fit for your company to work within our system. And if you're under $200,000 per year in revenue, because I know there's a lot of you guys here that watch the channel that are, take what I just presented to you in this video and put it to use in your business. And then get your company to generate a couple $100,000 a year, and then we can talk regarding helping you scale to 500, 750, or million, or whatever number is you want to get to. So again, first link in the description if you're doing 200K or more in revenue. Drop a like on this video, comment below your thoughts. If you have questions, we try to answer the questions that do come in. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you know when all the newest content comes live here on our channel. With that said, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.